Looks like there's still a lot that we got to do here today. Better start setting up now. Huzzah! Okay, let's get this show on the road.
Everything looks good on the stream.
All right, I think that's just about everything we need to do for My Singing Monsters Live. You ready to go, boys?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything to do with My Singing Monsters. We are your hosts, Monster Handler Matt.
Monster Handler Jen!
Monster Handler Charlie.
And we welcome you to this very special 12th anniversary edition of My Singing Monsters Live. I wasn't ready. We're so excited that you're joining us today as we talk about a landmark day in My Singing Monsters history. We had two updates go out today. Version 4.4 for My Singing Monsters and version 3.1 for Dawn of Fire. Each of them is chock full of goodies and exciting stuff. So we'll be going through all of those exciting elements of those updates, chatting, answering your questions, looking at monster pieces, doing some activities, having just a grand old time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. Jen's excited. Stu's excited. Matt's excited.
And you may notice that we're especially festooned. We're bedecked with our anniversary gear here. I will say that having the double hat situation. I know it's not the first time I've rocked it, but it is a little sweltering for me. So I might find that for continuity's sake, it was very important that I wear my Monster Handler gear here at the beginning of the episode. But why don't we do a quick check-in with Monster Handlers Jen and Charlie to see what you guys are up to while I tastefully shed these outer layers. Monster Handler David, could you please?
So, I think we should talk first and foremost about Play Your Part, which happened last month.
Play Your Part was so much fun.
We had, hold on to your hat, Charlie, over 4,500 submissions from the wonderful, amazing, talented Handler Helper community, and I can personally guarantee you that we watched every single submission. So if you think we didn't see yours, oh, we did.
We all sat down, and when we all sat down and picked the top 10, it took us like
hours
to do it. It was one of the hardest things we've ever done.
Yeah, because there were so many amazing entries. And I think that the way that everybody came together and sang the beautiful Ethereal Workshop song, like I have watched the Play Your Part video probably like 35 times. I love to watch it. Get my little dance on.
Yep. And Bamibus?
We got you, kind of. We got some of you.
And we know that you, our Handler Helper community, has watched it at this point over 500,000 times. I think was the view count that I saw on YouTube maybe yesterday.
Yeah,
and so I'm sure it's even more since then. Yeah, Play Your Part is always a blast. We were talking about it here at Big Blue Bubble, saying that when things are looking rocky, or we've got bugs that we're trying to fix, or stuff that we're trying to solve, it's great to remind ourselves of the reason why we do what we do, and a video like Play Your Part does exactly that, where we get to see the enthusiasm and the devotion and all of the talent, quite frankly,
and
in our community, and absolutely creativity in our community. So it's very, very rewarding for us to do it, and congratulations again to all the winners, like Jen and Charlie said. It was an absolute labor of love to go through all of them as well. I don't know if you care, but it was totally marketing's show to run this year. Going through all of the entries, over 4,500 of them to review, and I was completely trusting of them, and they delivered on an absolutely excellent scale with Play Your Part 2024. So
Monster Handler Jen did specifically a lot of the work, and Monster Handler Ben as well.
We couldn't have done it without the Handler Helper community. So thank you to all of the Handler Helpers who submitted for Play Your Part.
Hooray!
Got it.
Yeah, so that's very, very exciting. Today is September 4th. That is My Singing Monsters' official 12th birthday. This is the day, if I'm not mistaken, that My Singing Monsters left its closed geo beta. I think it was initially just available in Canada because we're Canadian and became universally available on the App Store, and then Google Play followed a little while later, and then Amazon, and then the myriad of others, and now here we are, 12 years in, which is pretty shocking, pretty crazy.
Whoever thought we'd be here? Not me.
Not I. It's very exciting stuff. So we've covered Play Your Part and how exciting that was for everybody, for us, for you, the reveal of Bamibeth. You may also have tuned in to our premiere last Saturday, August 31st, my birthday. To reveal the thank you, the anniversary month kickoff video where we discussed what to expect in versions 4.4 and 3.1 in My Singing Monsters and Dawn of Fire respectively. But let's perhaps get into the nitty-gritty of it now, and let's take a look and see what each of those respective updates entail. David, cue it up. Okay, so you know this one already. This one didn't come as a surprise, but of course, Jamboree has a brand new candle. It says 12. What other number would it have said? I don't know. But it's 12. And of course, Rare Jamboree and Epic Jamboree both had their respective number indicators updated as well. They're not currently available. I wonder if they'll become available at some later point during Anniversary Month. Spoiler, yes, they will. So, of course, it's Anniversary Month. Enjoy sales and new content in September. Also today, on the occasion of the anniversary, we had the 12th Anniversary Monument load in. Of course, each monument commemorates one of 12 anniversaries. It's available for a limited time. And as in years past, you can see that all of the glyphs that have been etched along the side there are representative of major updates that have come to pass over the course of the last year. It's always funny to me to think about, we've been doing My Singing Monsters now for clean over a decade, and now, even though I've been out of school for many years, for me, the year feels like it goes September to September as opposed to January to January.
Because of school, yes.
Just because of school. Well, in school, of course, I don't need to have children of my own, but because of My Singing Monsters, right? Because I sort of divide those units of time based on September. So we're not going to reveal what each of the 12 glyphs mean. You can go and figure it out yourselves. I'm sure you've all figured it out already.
I like that new one though. It's got the synthesizer in there.
Yes, it's got the bulb, the upper bulb. The onion, as it's called in many of our localized languages, that has been shattered open as Bamibeth exited the pod. All right, so those are available now. And speaking of Bamibeth, there it is. It's the Ethereal Quint. We said it didn't exist. You knew not to trust us. And here it is. It's guest starring our friend Landon Purefoy. There he is in monster form, poking up from the bottom there with the what we like to call the King Meeb on its head. And it's available to buy or synthesize on Ethereal Workshop. For all of those folks who were looking at the organism growing inside the synthesizer going, what will it be? What will it be? Obviously, you were right. You were right the whole time. That is what it is. And I saw some members of the Handler Helper community also saying, it's going to be a Wubbox. It's going to be a Wubbox. And no, it's not going to be a Wubbox. We wouldn't pass up the opportunity to create this brand new monster here that includes all 5 of the ethereal elements represented on its body. And also, as we've established many times before, the Wubbox is the hex element, not a quint. You silly geese. Come on. So yes, Bamibeth is a quint. And for it to be Wubbox, it would have had to have been a hex. And there are only 5 ethereal elements. There you go.
I like to think that Bamibeth is kind of like if like all the elements came together and made like a Voltron or like
Absolutely.
Power Rangers.
It's got big Voltron energy.
Power
I totally agree.
Megazord.
Would it if it were to like fall apart?
Right.
And, there's a line. So what's kind of cool about Bamibeth Obviously, you know, it was revealed during Play Your Part, but it was a very interesting creative process to get it made. In-house here, we had monster handler Dylan compose the part, and then Landon performed it for us, and we sort of went back and forth and tweaked it a little bit, but it was cool. You know, it went through a couple of different revisions of lyrics, but we wanted to have some fun with lyrical quality as well, because of course there won't be wordos on Ethereal Workshop, and then we thought, hey, this is too much fun. So Dylan wrote the lyrics for that. And very, very exciting that you know, this whole adventure with Ethereal Workshop kicked off last October at the end of anniversary month 2023.
Crazy.
So it's pretty cool to finally see it capped off and for it to finish up the song in such a grand fashion. Very, very cool stuff. All right, that's not the only thing, of course, that's happening in 4.4 that is momentous. Finally, like we mentioned in the kickoff video, we've heard your many calls for this, and finally Path Painting is here alongside new path decorations on each island. And yay! And it's very easy to get started. All you have to do is buy any path decoration and tap on the paint button to get started. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to mention that at launch, there were a couple of mismatched tiles here, path decorations, that either had outdated art that somehow snuck in. That's still a mystery. We blame Voidcorn. That snuck in there. I know one in particular, people are going, the photoreceptor path on Ethereal Workshop changed, and they're like, why would they do that? And the answer is, we didn't mean to. So I believe right before this episode of My Singing Monsters Live began, we pushed some DLC fixes up to get stuff fixed. It won't fix absolutely everything. I'm sure there are a few more things that are helpful. Helper community will point out to us in the coming days, and we'll try and fix those along the way. But for those paths that don't appear quite right, it's probably because they aren't right, and we will endeavor to fix them as soon as possible. But in the meantime, please take advantage of this awesome new feature. We're very excited about that. We'll get into path painting in a little bit, in a little bit more detail. But in the meantime, let's rocket through a few more items that came in version 4.4. Epic Mythicals! Woo! Epic Ostrich, Epic Kajube, there they are. I saw a lot of folks saying that they were surprised that these monsters were coming through prior to having fully completed the rarity of the mythical class, because what about Rare Dream Mythicals, I hear people saying? What about them? Maybe they don't exist. I don't know. I know you can't see my face right now, but I'm making an indignant face. Maybe they don't exist. I don't know. Or maybe you also won't have to wait very long for the first one to come out, you impatient, very helpful, supportive people. I kid, of course. All things will come in time to those who wait. But in the meantime, Epic Kajube and Epic Ostrich are available pretty much for the entirety of Anniversary Month. And I think this is fairly clever of us, or it just kind of lined up this way. But these two monsters are coming out on the exact 5th anniversary of Mythicals returning to the mobile version of My Singing Monsters. Monster Handler Jen covered all this in the kickoff video, and of course it's over 10 years since they first made their debut in any form in the PlayStation Vita version. So I thought that was pretty cool. That they
had
arrived.
that version.
And they have unique animations, as many of our handler helper community have pointed out. So does that mean future Epic Mythicals will have unique animations? No, we just decided to do it for these two. No, of course they will. Very, very exciting stuff. So take a look at these while they're available and add them to your collection. And what I was mentioning earlier is it's nice that it happened today because, of course, our featured island spotlights are neither plant nor air. So perhaps you'll have a little bit of a better chance to try and go for these in their initial availability starting today. All right, Monster Handler David, what's next? The Rare Wubbox.
Finally.
Available to buy in the Star Shop at level 20 on Wublin Island.
Woo-hoo.
It's very, this is also an exciting milestone to have hit because as Tyson and I mentioned in the kickoff video, the Wubbox first arrived during the 5th anniversary. That was during the infamous Mon 5 Tours year, where we replaced the S in Monsters with a 5, and
So
everyone joked
clever.
that it was called Mon 5ters. I thought it was funny, but it is what it is. But the more important thing is that it's finally here, and as we noted, it does not require the full complement of 19 rare Wubblins. You can pick and choose which 10 unique rare Wubblins you want to box inside of it, and it will sing a brand new song with brand new animation. So that's very, very exciting. And that is, of course, a permanent addition to Wublin Island. So if you are wanting to fill it up, power it up, then you can, of course, take advantage of all the anniversary month sales as numerous rares become available.
Excellent.
Sorry, David, I backtracked there, but let's jump ahead and Monster and the Charlie. This is what you were talking about in the kickoff video.
Yes.
That our journey with the Colosseum is coming to an end as Solemn Stratagem, the last of the Island Champ quests, becomes available there. So you'll
I
assemble a
will
team.
admit that I am such a sucker for the trophies, and I'm very excited about
I think
this
they're
one.
very cool, and
I like
think they're
decorating my island. I like people to
fun.
know how good I am at it.
Yeah, well, exactly. And these final champ quests are not for the faint of heart. They can be quite difficult. You know, we chose the monster opponents very specifically to give everybody a run for their money. But once you complete it, then you will achieve Colosseum level 30. And at Colosseum level 30, there's a bunch of new stuff for you to enjoy on the Colosseum in the next one.
That trophy will be a centerpiece on my plant island once I get it.
Not Earth Island, Charlie?
Oh, yeah, it would be Earth Island. You're
Oh,
right.
think of the chorister. Think of the chorister. All right. Next, please. Unlocked at Colosseum level 30, we have 4 new Colosseum decorations, which are connected to the lore of the monster world. Now, some of our, I hesitate to call them veteran, but mature handler helper members of our community who were around in 2020 when the Colosseum first appeared may remember these etchings on the columns of the conservatory as revealing some pretty interesting tidbits of information about the history of the monster world, specifically as it pertains to the duo of colossals that went on to form Tribal Island and the Colosseum, respectively. And once you get these decorations, you'll be able to see that they reveal the names of those colossals. We won't say them here, so we'll wait for folks to find that in-game as they collect them. But there's also 5 tunes in the jukebox at the mess hall.
Nice.
The Natural Island beats, the Plant beat, the Cold beat, the Air beat, the Water beat, and the Earth beat, which are very funky. And I would love to hear someone, I don't know, do an R&B number over it, because they're very, very slick. I like them a lot, and our audio team did an excellent job of funkifying our island tunes.
That would be cool to see.
All right, what's next? All right, now we're into sales. So it's week 2 of anniversary month, and so it's our time of the season for common, rare, and epic forms available to buy or breed for Yule, Goblin, Gordon, Carolong.
Wow.
Seasonal
Beautiful.
costumes, and thank you. Seasonal costumes and decorations are also available for the associated seasons, Festival of Yay, Feast Ember, and Crescendo Moon. And for the first time, we have a non-tuplicate, I don't know, whatever that word is for 9, of all 3 common, rare, and epic forms of these seasonals available ones. Last week, during week 1, of course, we did have common, rare, and epic Punkleton and Clavavera, but this is our first time since sort of rounding out all of the seasonals in their rare and epic forms that 9 of them are available at once. So that's very, very exciting. And who could say no to the amazing seasonal costumes and decorations available at the same time during week 2? So
Excellent.
make sure to go check those out. What else is going on? Well, like I mentioned, we've got our island spotlights, and that's the whole reason why those other monsters are involved. We've got for Cold Island, Firehaven, and Magical Sanctum, featured limited monsters available to breed in the market and in the Star Shop. And of course, 50% off the featured Diamond and Crystalline Castle upgrades as well. You know what's funny, and I'll mention this because it's my doing, and I'll go and fix it right after this, but for a long time before we introduced Magical Nexus, the short form, the single word form of Sanctum was Magical, but I've since changed it to Sanctum so that people can differentiate between Sanctum and Nexus, but I forgot to do it on this announcement. So I'll go fix it right after this. Sorry, everybody. But you can figure it out. You can see the little island icon there. You can figure it out. Yeah, exactly. They know. But it's just you know, I like to point out when I make mistakes. But this is not a mistake. The Amber Reprise. All Fire Monster vessels available for a limited time. So that's a group of 31 vessels. Now, we mentioned Fire Monster specifically because, of course, who else is on Amber Island? Vivane. But Vivane is coming later in Anniversary Month as part of a separate week's worth of highlighted islands. But if you're missing any of these, or if you want to crack open the Crucible and start filling out your collections for your rare and epic forms of monsters that have been released, well, now's your perfect opportunity because this reprise will last for several weeks over the course of Anniversary Month. So go check it out.
I'm only 2 monsters away from opening my Crucible.
Wow. Oh, right, because of course you need the unique monster species in order to unlock the feature. Very cool. All right, switching over to Dawn of Fire version 3.1. Young Mythicals. These took a lot of people by surprise, I will say. But for those lore masters in the community, they know that we've established that Mythicals have been around for quite a long time. At least in the case of Cherubble and Anglo, there's references of them all the way back to the beginnings of the monster world, because as revealed by monster handler Ali in the kickoff video, these are sort of like little pet projects here for the Colossals. They'd sort of finished their natural and fire menagerie, and we're like, okay, what do we do now? All right, we should do something. All right, well, we'll make these. Well, we'll make the Mythicals. And so Yostrich and Jube, available to buy or breed at level 9 for a limited time on the continent. Now, you may notice that it says for a limited time. Something worth mentioning here is that in Dawn of Fire Mythicals, unlike in My Singing Monsters, when they're permanently available, Mythicals are only available for a limited time in Dawn of Fire. So you won't want to sleep on this one. Do you like that?
No,
Sleep because of dream jokes and stuff.
Very good.
You won't want to sleep on this particular promotion because you'll want to add both of these monsters to your collection while they're available, because at the end of Anniversary Month, they'll be gone. They'll be gone. And they'll
Monsterling Yostrich, just so fresh out of the egg.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw lots of folks. I saw lots of handler helpers saying that, you know, oh, it's so ugly, I love it, and we're like, okay, we nailed it. Phew. Because we were looking at this, this monsterling and going like, you know, it turns into such a beautiful adult.
True.
That we wanted to show that. Another thing, of course, is that it mentions in the Yostrich bio in My Singing Monsters that it's only really suited to the landscape of Air Island, and so we wanted to show that it was, like you said, Charlie, kind of having a hard time here. It's sort of a rough start to life. But don't worry, you know, maybe one day you'll get there.
They'll get their feet
and come into your own. All right, there's that, and then there's also the Castle upgrade tier 12, which gives you 120 beds a piece.
Woo.
Why is that kind of cool? It's because you can it's available to upgrade on the first and second castles on the continent. This is kind of a behind the scenes change that we did as well with this update, but castle tiers 11 through 8, or I guess I should say 8 through 11, also had their appearance updated to reflect the transition from Castle 7 all the way to this currently final form. So it's a little bit more of an evolution. It's a little less stark of a change. So that's kind of cool. This, of course, will only really be visible to players who have not yet reached Castle level 7, and then they'll see this progression as they go all the way through. But if you're interested in seeing what they look like, I did upload them to the fan kit earlier today.
Nice.
So you can go and check those out. They're sort of there as a bit of an echo in the background of this particular interstitial. Now, there are also sales in Dawn of Fire. Just like in My Singing Monsters, it's week 2 of Anniversary Month in Dawn of Fire. So we've got Young Yule available to buy or breed at level 9 for a limited time on the continent, just a week long. So make sure to pick up this Jolly Tyke while it's available. So go check that out. And our featured island of week 2 in Dawn of Fire is Party Island. So in our Outer Limits promotion, do you like that, Outer Limits, because they're the outer islands? All prismatics are available at level 9 for a limited time in the Prism Gate on Party Island. And I took care to include, I probably mentioned this last year, I took care to include all of those prismatics that actually made their first appearance during Anniversary Month on Party Island. So that's Prismatic Quibble, Prismatic Ziggurat, and Prismatic Scups back there. Everyone loves Prismatic Scups, right? It's
love
their
prismatic
absolute
Scups.
favorite prismatics. It's in no way disconcerting and kind of bizarre.
Ziggurat was a little bizarre too.
Yeah, let's face it, the prismatics are a bizarre bunch. There's lots of weirdness going on there, but we love them for their weirdness. So like I mentioned, Party Island is the featured island. So to that end, to help you out with your prismatic collections, you can see that all adult monsters on Party Island are 50% off.
Excellent.
So go check that out. Look at Ziggurat, it's thrilled. It's going, it's very happy, it's very nice. So there's that promotion on Party Island. There's also 50% off the hotel on Party Island. I love these hotels. They're some of my favorite art in Dawn of Fire, how they're each unique and they each have their cool upgradable forms as well. But it's just the base form here that's 50% off for a limited time for week 2 of Anniversary Month in Dawn of Fire. And then it wouldn't be complete if you didn't have your decorations as well. So 50% off Party Island themed decorations on all islands. Now, of course, like I mentioned, they can go on all islands, but they really look particularly beautiful on Party Island, I
Of
gotta
course.
say.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Whoa!
Monster Handler Tyson.
Decided to show up.
What are you doing here, my friend? Well,
I
yeah, we
can't
saw
believe
you.
he's here and definitely wasn't sitting through most of that.
We saw you in the. Ooh, I better suck in here. And what an unflattering angle. Yes, we saw you in the intro there. We saw you sit down on the couch, and then we were very confused. Where did you
and
go?
then I
Oh, my hat!
And then I hit a little
Better put my
traffic. I had to go for a second. Then I hit a little traffic.
There
and
we
then
go.
Monster Handler Jen was very, very nice and sat in for me.
Well,
Thanks,
it was
Jen.
nice to see Jen, but it's also nice to see you,
Thank
Monster
you.
Handler Tyson.
Thank
so
you.
so join us. So
It's
that's
also nice to see Charlie.
Charlie, we've seen you already.
Yeah.
We know who you are. It is always nice to see Monster Handler
course.
Charlie.
Of course.
So let's launch into our next section of today's show, which will be, if I'm not mistaken, our question
We got
period.
some questions
Now
from
it's not
the community.
quick questions. That's the exclusive province of
Yes,
you.
I own the rights.
Am I gonna? I'm gonna. All right, this is bothering me. I wonder if Monster Handler David, do you think you could tilt the camera just a smidge so that there's a little bit more of my arm visible?
Oh, but
it's feeling left out.
But I'm perfectly in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, actually, Charlie helps to sort of round that out there, but maybe there.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
You
There
know,
we go.
Yeah, it feels a little cozier now.
That's how much of a diva I am. Oh, hey, wait a minute. No, it looks good. It looks
There
good.
we go.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh, my gosh. Seeing how the sausage is made. What, this background doesn't extend into infinity? No, it doesn't. All right, so
yes,
we got questions,
we
right?
got pre-selected questions from
All
the
right, and then there will
community.
also be
Yes.
live. Are we doing live questions?
Yes, we are
today?
doing live questions.
Okay, we've got.
Sorry, what?
Oh, go ahead, Tyson.
Sorry. Monster Handler Jen will be collecting live questions as we go. So yeah, throw some cool lore questions in there. If you're going to be asking, hey, when's this coming out? We're not going to tell you.
No.
So ask some juicy questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask us like hard hitters. Don't ask us about spoilers. We're not gonna say.
We're
it.
not doing that. And you ask us questions where we're like this every time we hear it. Those kind
That's a
of
tall
questions.
order, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
sure
tall-
I'm sure our pre-selected questions will do that each and every time.
Of course.
So, all right, who's going first? Who's
Monster Handler
asking a
Charlie.
question first?
Okay. The first question is from Quibop Real. Why
Nice.
doesn't Gold Island have a market?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Gold Island have a market? Gold Island doesn't have a market because it exists on the higher plane. And there's beautiful immaterialism there. People don't care. Now, you may be wondering, well, Monster Handler Matt, Amber Island is on the higher plane, and it has a market.
Yeah, what the heck?
That's because the two islands have separate goals.
Yes.
Gold Island is all about being sort of a sanctuary of peace. I've always described it. No, okay, so here's something that's interesting.
Give me the rundown.
Some behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
When we created Gold Island and it released back in November of 2012, obviously we hadn't started thinking about Dawn of Fire yet. We hadn't started thinking about like a prequel or a timeline or anything to do with it. So Gold Island was just like, yeah, it's gold, you know, gold, it's aspirational, it's cool, it's valuable, whatever. And in all of the lore and the storyline and the chronology that we've developed since, we've talked about the fact that the higher plane that is like this special place that became accessible only to a very small select group of colossals. There's, of course, Dulcetea, the Queen Colossal, who's Amber Island, and the King Colossal, who's Gold Island, whose name we've not yet revealed, and which I know, but I'm not telling you now, because it's coming later. On some future exciting occasion. But Gold Island, I have always seen it as like, okay, here's an opportunity where the monsters can kind of like reunite and remind themselves of what it was like to be back on the continent when there weren't these island divisions. It's sort of like an idea of reunion. A lot of our islands feature the idea of reunion, right? Like, you know, partings that conclude as people are reunited. People, you know, monsters, whatever. So to that end, Gold Island not having a market, it's because there's no greater treasure than your friends and your loved ones.
Relax, hang
Your
out.
loved ones.
Nothing truer than that, pal.
Isn't that nice? And I'll just sit over here in my chair
Anyways,
by myself.
Hey,
All right,
hey.
great question.
Oh, hey.
give me a nice
Here.
little, yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
Right.
Hey, that fist bump reminds me of something that's coming later.
Okay,
I know.
great.
I'll tell
I
you
know
about
what
it
it is.
when the time comes.
People can,
All right,
people
what's
can ponder
next?
that in
What's
that comment.
next? What's
All right,
next?
From the epic random Nat, how were the mythicals discovered on the continent?
How were the mythicals
Yeah.
discovered on the continent? I'll do it in a sound. Whoa, there they are. So recall, as we said, the mythicals being the sort of pet project of the colossals have a different sort of appearance, and by appearance I don't mean like what they physically look like, but like when they first appeared, than the seasonals. Each of the seasonal bios sort of tell a brief condensed version of how they all came to be, whether it's, you know, Thumpy's messing around in
Yeah,
a pumpkin
correct.
patch, and then
course.
Punkleton becomes Punkleton, and Yule is sort of a cold man that is given life, not a snowman, a cold man that is given life. The mythicals are a different, are a horse of a different color, a monster of a different class. They are just there, but the reason I think that they earned this mythical designation in the first place is because during the era of Dawn of Fire, they weren't regularly observed, and that is reflected in the fact that they are limited time monsters
that's
in Dawn
right.
of Fire. So mythical, it's like here one day, gone the next. Do they exist? I don't know.
It's like a cryptid.
Very much like a cryptid. It's got that big cryptid energy. BCE, big cryptid energy. So
TM.
yeah, we're taking that. And don't tell Doma. Yeah, you know about Doma. We know about Doma.
Yeah.
And we don't like them very much
Yeah,
no, we
because
don't.
they
Yeah,
are
we-
always trying to
Step on our heels.
exactly, and
catching on to
you know,
what's going
we're
on.
just trying to observe and have fun and chronicle the monster world, and they're always trying to mess it up.
But let's all keep the secret from Doma together. Let's
Yes,
not interact
yes.
with
You,
Doma.
we are in a pact here, us monster handlers and the handler helpers, to don't be a mole for Doma.
Don't Doma.
Don't do it.
Don't
Don't do it. All right. All right. So that's why that's how mythicals came to be discovered. They
Well-
just kind of appeared.
Well, and another thing, another fun aspect as well, because people are probably wondering, well, from the monster handler perspective,
Right.
It's similar to how, you know, dinosaurs were discovered here as well. You know, everything's kind of out of order. And so, yeah, you know, the mythicals, yes, they were at that time, but we didn't.
Right.
We didn't know.
Yeah, we only
until now.
we only happen to find evidence
now.
of them now. And
Thanks to Monster Now.
you know what is interesting is if you're in My Singing Monsters and you see there's an in-game announcement that says go check out Dawn of Fire. There are no cave paintings of the mythicals. That's something that's very important.
Interesting.
There's only cave paintings of those monsters that are permanently available.
I
So like
see.
when Gnarls was added back during Summer Song Junior, there was a cave painting for that. But there's no cave paintings for the mythicals. There's something else. So go check out the
So
interstitial.
no wonder it took us a while to
Interesting.
discover
Right.
these guys.
All right, I got
okay,
one
sorry.
here. This is from Gamerlax 101.
Hello,
Why
Gamerlax.
do mirror Why do mirror islands have pink web-like things across it?
Ooh, that's a great question.
love this question.
And
It's
we
a good
answered this
Good
question in part earlier this year when Pentumbra, the Shadow Quad, first became available. It apparently has something to do with the specific interaction between ethereal energies, mostly shadow, but other ethereal energies as well, when they pass through the rift, which is the space between dimensions. So the pocket dimension is this sort of little sequestered area of the monster world. It was the sandbox area for the Colossos as they were starting to think about creating the larger monster world. But in the mirror timeline, it's different because the continent didn't break apart in the same way, and there was more of an ethereal invasion of those energies into that main world. So it sort of carried those energies in and sort of strew it about. What is
Strown.
Yeah, maybe.
Strewn.
I was just trying to say, what is the? Is it strew? What's for the past participle strewn? Do you strew things? Do you strow? Who knows? Anyway, they're littered all over the place. These pink sinewy things, but they are the byproduct of ethereal energies passing through the rift from one dimension to another.
Reminds me of Ghostbusters.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah,
goo.
good point.
The goo and the
I got
slime and the
Hey,
whatnot.
great, save me some.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a mystery for a while, but with the discovery of Pentumbra and those same sort of pink sinewy bits wrapped around its feet, helped us to make that
that's right.
discovery just earlier this year.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, we have another question from Master Jet. What would happen if the disc in the rare Wubbox was changed?
Whoa.
If the disc in the rare Wubbox's chest, because it's like a vinyl.
It's a-
right
yeah,
now,
it's a-
right?
What if it was like a jukebox?
Vinyl situation.
I mean, what a mind-boggling question. What if it was changed? I think. Now I'd have to go back through 12 years of social posts, but it makes me. This question reminds me of the fact that I think maybe we've talked about the fact that it can be interchanged, and that like Rare Wubbox can act like basically an amplification device for it.
Pretty
Because
cool.
recall that Rare Wubbox came to be through interactions with the human world. It hopped dimensions and sort of invaded the computer networks of Big Blue Bubble
Right.
and its employees, and sort of picked up error messages and learned a little bit of English, and also
It's
not
getting smarter.
not just during that time in the human world, but also. It also went even further back in time in the human world and went back to the 70s and just had a grand old time with vinyls and guitars, and that's why a lot of its tech is a little bit retro.
Went back and discovered that vinyl is the true way to listen. to
You
music.
got it. You got it. All other
Music,
forms
baby.
inferior. So I think I'm pretty sure that Rare Wubbox can swap out the vinyl disc in its chest to groove to other tunes.
Cool.
I'm
That's
pretty
cool.
sure.
Very
I'd have to ask it
Yeah.
to confirm.
Okay, this one is from Tenebroise.
Tenebroise.
Is Jamboree actually cake, or does it just look like cake?
The cake is not a lie, but as mentioned in a couple of bios, it is exceedingly rude, exceedingly imprudent
Of course.
to suggest that Jamboree might be consumed, or at very minimum consumable. It
Yeah,
certainly
which-
looks very delectable, and of course the imagery of a cake suggests birthday, which is why Jamboree is the anniversary month seasonal and is featured and is highlighted during anniversary month. But is it actually cake? Is Punkleton actually a pumpkin? No. It's kind of like it, but it's monsterfied. You know,
Yeah.
it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Over the years of me answering these questions on My Singing Monsters Live, I'm sure I'd love to do
Fact check?
well, no, just a compilation cut of all the times where I was like, could have been this, could have been that, call me. It's a bit of both, it's neither. It's a very safe answer for me to give.
Now, well, we saw Ma kind of push the limits though a little bit.
Very much
now.
so. It was pushing its luck.
Yeah.
As is true of many Ma's. You guys know I had beef with Ma's, which we patched it up.
Yeah, I
Things
was
are
gonna
better
say.
now. But I'm still I'm still not 100% in a trusting state. My hack will
Now,
still go up a
well,
little bit
we gotta wait
whenever I
for-
think about Maw.
We gotta wait for Rare Maw to do something a little peachy.
It's really Epic Maw that really ground
Well,
my
that's what I mean.
gears
We had
back in the day.
Common Maw, you know.
Yeah, doing stuff, and you're right. Well, Rare Maw's got that sort of devilish
It does.
countenance, doesn't it?
It
With the
does.
dark fur and the
Inquisitive
spooky
smile.
eyes, and
What's
it's always trying to eat
plotting?
those cupcakes.
Oh no.
Naughty, naughty, naughty. All right.
All right. Next question from Lila Mir. Is Pentumbra's shadow like a Peter Pan situation where it can detach and reattach?
That is a
That's
great
a good
question.
That's a great question.
I don't know about detaching, but it certainly, like the Peter Pan shadow, sort of has a life of its own, right?
Yeah.
And that's sort of connected visually and thematically to the idea of shadow being like a representation of something.
Trying to
It's like
see my shadow.
it's connected. Oh my gosh! It's connected to the core thing, but it's kind of its own thing as well. So can it detach and move around? I don't think so. I don't think that's ever been observed. But of course, as a monster that's still comparatively new in the overall grand scheme of the Monster World timeline, a whole lot of behaviors about Pentumbra remain to be learned about.
I see.
It's definitely a very interesting monster, and some
Very.
really cool entries from player part,
Yes.
specifically with Pentumbra.
And
lot
playing
of
with
entries.
and having
Yes.
like actually casting shadows
Yes,
in order to
very
try and do it.
interesting.
Yeah,
It was
those
so cool.
those were some of my favorite
So
entries
cool.
as well. Very
There's
cool.
a couple puppet ones that blew me away.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They were
Yeah.
awesome.
Okie dokie.
From Crunchy.
This is from Crunchy.
Crunchy.
Once a Wublin is awakened, does it remember before it was awakened or for when it was like a quick time skip? Let me go for that again. Once a Wublin is awakened, does it remember before it was awakened, or for them is it like a quick time skip?
There you go. All right. Yeah. I agree that maybe the
that really
punctuation
fast.
was missing, but anyway, it's a
Good.
good question. No, there is no time prior to
No.
awakening for a Wublin. So it is a time skip. As soon as the spark of life animates the Bubblerite carving,
They are here.
there they are. But they're not aware in the time before. Before it's just a piece of art. Before it's just a work of art.
Well, there you
Interesting.
go. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. Our last pre-selected question,
And then we'll start
be
plucking.
going to the live questions.
Yeah.
There be some good live questions. Gavistro Pod asks, "Are we absolutely sure that the original Pinghounds look like the Dream Mythical? It's been so long since the first Anglo population came from their home planet. Some features had to have been lost in translation." I would think so.
I love this question because for me, it calls upon the classic dilemma of dreams. Because all of the dream mythicals, as suggested by the name, come from the dreams of the core mythicals. And in the case of Anglo, as is mentioned in this question, it's recalling its sort of domestic canine-like companion from its home planet, which inspired Pinghound, but it is still from a dream. And as we all know, dreams have a tendency to change details or warp things or distort them or make them somewhat unrecognizable, or super strange things can happen in dreams when in the moment you're just like, yeah, that's just how it is. And then when you're thinking about it later, you're like, why did I think that everybody is paid in ice cream? You know what I mean? It's one of those, which would be great, but also
Maybe
the
it
realm,
wouldn't.
but also the province of dreams,
true.
right? That were paid in ice cream. So, are we 100% sure that Pinghounds look exactly like Anglo's old companions from its home planet? No, and I would hazard to guess that it's very likely that they have been warped, modified in some way, probably because of all the time that Anglo has spent in the monster world.
That makes sense.
I wonder if it's a combination of like like other monsters that look like Anglo and the pets that they have.
Right.
Combined in a dream.
I'm sure. Well, you're exactly right. Like dreams fuse things weirdly.
Right.
Right. So it could be like actually Pinghounds don't have, I don't know, the glow up markings on the side, right? Like or the sort of like spinny eyes that they get
Yes.
when they
Yeah.
go ding.
Yeah, I feel like that's very dreamy.
Maybe that's just something that's part of the imagining of Dreamcraft.
I would love to see fan art of of what people think original Ping Hounds maybe look like. That
Let's
would
see
be
that.
I'd love that.
Yeah, let's see it.
Make it
I'm
happen.
making a
Do it.
note.
Make it out.
Yes.
Now, before we get into live questions, I have a question for everybody. If you were paid an ice cream, what would it be? What kind of
Mint
ice cream?
chocolate
Oh, mango sorbet for me.
Mango sorbet.
I'm a lactose intolerant kind of guy,
Okay.
so anything that is sans milk is up my alley.
There you go. I'm a salted caramel guy myself. What
You're
about
gonna
Yeah,
think I'm
salt-
crazy.
salt.
I'm mint chocolate chip.
You're a mint chocolate chip?
Love it.
Anyways, live questions.
That's a good combo.
From Kaya Demirci. I'm bad with
Kaya Demirci?
We tried our
Demirci. There it
best.
is. Yeah, sorry. I'm bad with names.
That's all right.
Do Bamebiths? Ooh, we have a Bamebith question.
Yes.
Do Bamebiths heads each have a different brain that work independently from each other?
No, they don't. That idea is present a lot, I think, in the monster world of
It
like
is.
separate consciousnesses shared across one body. I know that the silhouette of Bamebith sort of changes as you upgrade the synthesizer, but it's all still sort of connected together, right?
Right.
And so, yes, it kind of looks like they're distinct, but it's more so like if you picture Bamebith like the International Space Station, where there's different like modules, there's different sort of areas of
Or
it,
like
but they're
Voltron.
all sort of connected, or like Voltron.
Or like a Voltron.
Yes, yeah, but they're all still connected. No, there's just a singular consciousness. I think that if there
course.
was more than one consciousness, the instability of the monster would like go off the
big
charts.
time.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Something I am excited about in version 4.4, and we showed it off in the kickoff video, but it's just kind of a nice little thing, is that now that the Ethereal Workshop is complete, for players who are starting Ethereal Workshop for the first time, there's now a little Meeb helper, the King Meeb,
Yes.
that will sort of comment on the stability of your combinations in the synthesizer. And we added that just because we saw a number of people seeing that, like, when the dial went to red, they were just like, I guess I'm not supposed to do this. And it's like, no, it's not that you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do it, it's just that the chances of it being successful are lower. It's a more unstable combination.
Yeah.
So we added that little King Meeb helper
And
just to
everybody
sort of
needs a Meeb
communicate
helper.
that.
We've got a Meeb that's around here somewhere.
That's
It's not
right,
very
Charlie. If I
much of a-
remember
Yeah,
correctly,
we
it sort of escaped on your
not
way.
very much of a helper, but it does get into mischief.
Yeah, I kind of just usually see it getting into your snacks at your
Yeah.
desk.
Yes.
That's really
The
it.
scariest part about a Meeb in the monster world, or in the human world rather, is that
can it attune to?
can it attune to things beyond the elements
it?
of the monster world? Can it attune to ice cream? Can it become an ice cream
Could it attune
Meeb?
to
Mint chocolate
Charlie?
chip Meeb?
Attune to Charlie, and we have a small Charlie?
Oh,
Whoa.
we're getting into sort of Kirby
Wait, I want to see
territory
fan
there.
art of a Charlie.
Charlie is a Meeb.
Yeah, what colors would it use? Would it be like
It would
your
just be
would it be like
like
your
a beard.
monster would it be your monster handler avatar? Would it be that sort of like chartreuse or lime
Oh, that would be
green?
cool.
I see.
That'd be kind of
Anyway.
like the poison one. Anyway,
What's
good question.
another one
Good
there,
question.
Monster Hunter Tyson?
We've got from Cheers to That. Hey, wait, oh, thank you. How do the monsters travel to the Colosseum? Do they use the Starship?
Starship?
That's what they say. They may be. They might be. They
Maybe
might
the
be,
Skyship.
Oh no, Skyship. I read it wrong.
right.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. Do they use the skyship? I mean, that would certainly be kind of Bookworm to lend the skyship for such an occasion.
I mean, Bookworm lent it to them.
But even though in game the visual imagery of teleport is used, of course, the initial voyage to the Colosseum was conducted by boat. That was the first Spirit of Adventure, and
That's
the
right.
crew consisted
yeah.
of Noggin, Toejammer, and Mammoth.
And now we
all
got
the
two
way
boats to
back
get them there.
at
Yeah.
that's right. And I think that once they made landfall on the Colosseum, they were basically able to kind of like, it's like when you unlock a checkpoint, where it's like now you can fast travel there kind of thing. But
Right.
you have to go there first, right?
Yes.
So the initial voyage was by boat, was by Spirit of Adventure, but I think future ones, it's just by opening a portal, using the classic form of teleportation to slide from one location to another.
Beautiful, beautiful. From Silly Rare Anglo. Got Charlie. How did the Colossals get their names? Did they name themselves?
No. If you really must know, the community helped to name many of them.
Oh, yeah.
If you may recall,
I do
last
remember
year
that.
during Anniversary Month, we had our dropping names community contest
Oh,
where
that's
we
right.
asked
Yeah.
our handler helper community to help vote on the names.
You should have remembered that. Time is a
Well,
flat
you know what?
circle.
You know why I like this question is because perhaps it's someone who has joined the Handler Helper community since last year. But how did the Colossals get there? Okay, there's two answers to this, of course. There's the Monster Handler answer, which is that like you helped to name them last year, but in universe, in the Monster World themselves, the Colossals' names are actually undecipherable concepts that the human mind cannot fathom. So the names that we give them are basically code names. Because
Right.
if I tried to actually tell you what Greenwich's real name was, it'd be one of those things where like my eyes would roll back in my head and my jaw would go slack
It's like
and
trying
I'd
to
start
think of a
glowing.
new color.
Do you know what it's like, Tyson? Do you remember when you were possessed by the Plant Island Colossal and your eyes were glowing?
Yeah, I do remember.
Do you remember that? No, it was kind of uncomfortable, right?
It was awful.
You're traumatized.
Yeah, I don't
Trust
have
us.
to think about it. Thanks for bringing it up.
We don't deliberately traumatize Tyson. Operative word deliberately.
Yes, we do.
Feels like it happens a lot. Anyways.
But yeah, their real names are unknowable. It's that kind of, you know, extra dimensional kind of gobbledygook that our feeble mortal brains cannot comprehend.
Like trying to think of a new color.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's very
a good
hard.
one.
It's very
That's a
hard.
good one.
And in you know, in certain fictions, I think like in Star Wars, like they've named the colors on the other ends of the spectrum on ultraviolet and infrared. And
Okay.
they're just like, you know, it's glorp, and you're just like,
Alright.
that's not a color. But maybe it is. I don't know.
That looks blue
It's a
to
cool
me.
idea, or like mantis shrimp that can see more colors here in the human world than any other organism or something. They've got like 14 rods and cones or something. It's crazy. Charlie's having
What
a
are they
thought.
doing with all that knowledge?
I don't know. Nothing. Why? What's next?
All right, Monster Hunter China, why don't you get it? We have 3 more questions
All right,
that we're going to
sounds
do.
good.
wow, let's
You
just-
can do- you can do the last 3.
Let's power through these. Okay, this is from Mombro Pro. If the monster world is a donut, do monsters sometimes see other lands across from them? For those that are in the middle of the donut.
Excellent question. So
I mean, if you're standing in the ocean, sometimes you can see another country.
something that's kind of interesting
not saying in ocean,
is
you know what I mean.
the toroidal map of the monster world, when laid flat upon the desk as it is in the map, there aren't too many islands that are actually sort of on the interior curve of it. A lot of them tend to be basically on the top, what I like to call the frosting part of the donut.
Okay.
Or they're on the underside, the inverse frosting side,
Yeah.
or they're on the seam, right, which is on the outermost equator.
It's the equator.
So there are very few islands that actually like look up and over. One island that would be normally perfectly positioned to basically look up and see the other side of the donut would be Wublin Island, but of course
but
it
the
is kind of,
storm.
but the storm kind of blocked it. You can't really see. So that's just rotten luck.
Ugh.
What are you gonna do?
You have to unlock your phone.
You need my face. There we go. There you go.
Thank you very
Ta-da.
much. Okay, so this is from Alex Mecanendos.
All right.
The Stair Shaper. The Stair Shaper have some kind of connection with the Colossals? Does the Stair Shaper have
Yes,
some kind of
it does in the sense that Stair Shaper is kind of like a colossal fanboy.
Right.
By that
okay.
I mean that Stair Shaper is an intergalactic traveler. Arrives in the monster world during one of its many travels, and through evidence that it collects, or legends that it hears tell, because as you know, both Stair Shaper and Dreamcrafter, who are the two of this type of intergalactic traveler, are their shapeshifters, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it could be that at one point Stair Shaper took the form of an unsuspecting monster and was just kind of like, what do you know about Colossals? to someone, and you know, a mammoth or a furcorn, you know, maybe they got a pom-pom talking, or a tweedle, because tweedles are big gossips,
See,
right?
they're pulling a mimic, but like executing it better.
At the macro
Science.
cosmic level, right? But so Stareshaper became aware of the Colossal's existence and was like, hey, that's very cool. I'm a big fan of your work. I'm an admirer of yours. I'm an aficionado. So Stareshaper later went on to basically inspire the creation, or you know, oversee the creation of the magical class as a basically tribute to the OGs, the Colossals. It's sort of
I
like
see.
how, you know, new generations of creatives and storytellers are telling new Star Wars stories now because they were inspired by George Lucas.
So
and
Magical
other
Nexus saw a
creators.
gap in the market.
Yeah. I gotta go. Gotta move now. Gotta move now. So yeah, so there is a connection, but notably Stareshaper itself is not a Colossal. It hails from beyond.
Okay, so this is the final question.
Okay.
This is from
it's
the
a big
Man
one.
Person 27.
All right.
Fire Oasis Festival was on July 31st. There were 31 celebrities intended to appear. There's also 31 natural monsters. The final of which, Mimic, is exclusive to Fire Oasis, and Mimic's Festivalgore costume is the 31st costume in the Summer Song series. Could the natural monsters have a relation to the number 31, similar to the magical relation to 18? Baba Booey.
You know, Baba Booey. Or Monster Handler Jen. All right. Monster Handler Jen entered the room, everybody. Go crazy. There she is. She's passing through. Hey, hello. A sighting. Where's Doma when you need them?
Yeah.
So does the number 31 have significance to the naturals? You know what? I love all of that numerology and math that particular Handler Helper did. You know what? I'll say sure. You know why? Because my birthday is on the 31st too. So why not? Why
There we
not?
go.
I didn't know that about the 31 celebrities. Can you believe we got 31 cancellations?
I cannot.
Very sad. Very sad for
I
us.
really thought that. What's the catalyst?
Yeah, we're
one?
still holding out for Weird Al.
Doja
Doja
Catalyst.
Catalyst.
Doja
we're
Catalyst. Yeah, we're still
disappointed in
holding
that
out for
one.
Weird Al. We only had Weird Al Yostrich instead.
That was good too.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
But you know, Weird Al, call us, man.
All right, what's next?
You know what? Something that I want to pivot to now, because we mentioned that we do it, is I'd like to take a look at path painting quickly in a little bit more detail before we transition over to another segment. And I promise I'll go fast because I know that that's why Jen is here to partake in the next segment. She's ready. She's on deck. She's ready to go. Whoa, she's ready. All right, but Monster Handler David, if you could please cue up the footage, which Monster Handler Tyson was so
Yes.
kind to take for us. So,
I
Wow,
did this
great job,
today.
Monster
I
Handler
know,
Tyson.
because you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm more of a collector of player. You know, I like to get the monsters, but I don't really care for, you know, decorating it. But as soon as we have path painting, I'm loving it all of a sudden.
well, and you know what? Obviously, you know, our players have made the case for many, many years that it's something important that they would
And we
that would
like to
improve
listen.
their experience. And much in the same way as, you know, we added unlimited collect all for premium players. We've added path painting,
So-
and you're absolutely right, Tyson, that it was, you know, it was very time consuming previously, not impossible, but time consuming to do in the past. And now our hope is that we've made this a little bit easier. So our approach in the design here of path painting mode was very much inspired by, you know, art and image editing programs like Photoshop. I can name drop it because we use Photoshop here at Big Blue Bubble. But so a way I really like to think about it is along the bottom bar are sort of your like tools, what action it is that you're taking.
Yes.
And then on the left is sort of like it's your artist's palette where you're choosing which brush to paint with. So there's all sorts of things like, you know, you can resize from the bottom, you can move, you can flip, you can place. Something that has been helpful for me to remember is as I'm sort of navigating around the island, I have to have the bottom bar deselected to move around, otherwise it'll sort of
Yes.
lock me in place in the visible view. Another thing that's nice as well, and that we added that you can see happening here is the different level of visibility on the different parts of your island, your decorations, your structures, your monsters, your whatever. And that's accessible from the visibility tab there, the nice eyeball. Fun fact, and Monster Handler Randy, I think, would back me up on this, but that icon of the eye, I think, was what we originally had as the button for Colossal Conundra. And I wanted it to be a little bit more, like a glyph, like something that you'd find on an archaeological site. So I think it found new life here as a visibility icon to show what you're showing off as you're doing painting. Another thing that we mentioned as well, of course, is that new to this update are 2 new decorations on each of the islands where path decorations appear, including the diamond cost ones, which are very much of a flex.
Yeah.
Right? They're very much like, hey, I'm going to decorate with this diamond cost one because you know what? I have the kind of disposable income of diamonds.
I want to point out, like, I have some connections with the Monster
Yes,
World
you do.
Bank.
You've received
Syncopite's
blessing. Why you have so much currency.
It's just because, I know the right people.
Yes, absolutely.
Or
absolutely.
the right monsters, of course.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention as well, and players actually got a bit of a sneak peek about this last week prior to version 4.4 even being announced or going live today, is in order to optimize some elements of path painting mode, we made the decision to remove all monster likes that were path decorations prior. So there's a group of about 20 to 25 monsters who were affected by this, and they each received a replacement like, or in a couple instances where they already had 4 likes, they were just flat out removed. I'm thinking of things like the Cold Island Wordo, a talker, liked the Cryosanthemum path, but it already had 4 when Magpie the Wordo was added, so we just ended up removing that. So for those players who are like, well, what are they? Which monsters were affected? You're welcome to go and check out our support portal through the contact support button, which should be fixed now, by the way. Mm-hmm. There was an issue with it in version 4.4, but which I think we have now resolved in some of our day 1 patches for this update. That should be working again now. And if you go on our support resources, you can see which monsters had their likes updated. If you don't want to discover that for yourself, or if you're adventuresome and you just want to sort of go through and see, you're welcome to do that as well. In many cases, it's a decoration or monster that was replaced that would already have been on the island and perhaps is already liked by another monster. So you may not even perceive any differences if you're someone who likes keeping all of your monsters at 100%. Happiness. So that's just something to keep in mind moving forward. So no more path decorations as likes. We also felt that also meant that you could decorate a little bit more freely, not having to worry about managing monster happiness in such a way. So
beautiful.
I'm always at 100% happiness.
There you go. I'm at 100% happiness right now.
Well, you might not be for long.
You're here now.
Oh, hey.
Hello,
Oh, hey,
welcome.
Tyson. So,
As I lounge here. All right, what have you got for us here?
well, I think Monster Handler David needs to get on over here and run us through his idea for Monster Kitchen Anniversary Edition.
Hey, Monster Handler David.
I love that I get to just sprawl here on the couch while you guys are, or on the chair, while you guys are squeezing there on the couch.
Yay!
Charlie's microphone. Okay.
All right. So David, what are we doing? What are we doing?
We're playing a bit of cheese ball surprise.
Oh,
We have some fantastic deep fried cheese balls here, but one of them contains a surprise. I know which
is
one
it void corn?
It depends on what void. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
Nope.
it. I'm not going to
Nope.
say it. It
All
is
right.
not void corn.
Okay. We'll talk about void corn later.
I know which one it is, so everyone else gets to choose first. Don't look at them with too much candor. Just grab one and hold on to it.
All right.
I'm not even gonna look at it.
I'm gonna be the last one to take.
Are
so.
you sure?
Yeah, I'll take
Also, Monster Handler David, my mic unplugged and then I plugged it back
I
in.
may have sat on it. I'm sorry.
Is that gonna be okay?
I hope that's
Is,
fine.
It's gonna
is
be
my mic
fine.
okay?
it. David's gonna go and quickly check that
That's what I
while
make
we.
sure.
Okay, so
Mic's good. All right.
there's no way to discern which one is a surprise cheese ball from the exterior.
There might be if you look very
No,
closely.
So don't look so. So don't look so closely.
We've already found them.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go for it.
All right.
we
Ready?
doing it?
You ready? Okay.
3.
Happy anniversary month. As
Oh,
well.
happy anniversary.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Happy anniversary month.
Whew, just cheese.
No! David, no!
He's committing though. He's doing it. David, please. No. David.
So David, what was in there, my friend?
It was wasabi.
wasabi.
Wasabi. It was wasabi.
Wow, these cheese balls are really good.
I can smell the wasabi.
David, why does this always happen to you?
You know, this is kind of a nice change of pace for Monster Kitchen. Usually everybody's, you know,
Grossed out.
yeah, grossed out. But we're getting to enjoy a nice little.
You need a little palate cleanser there, Monster Handler David.
How was it?
I'm still working on it.
Everyone, cheer on David in the comments. Go David. He did it for the birthday.
It's so good.
Should we add wasabi cheese balls as an item in the bakery?
Yes.
In my
Someone.
I think the monsters would love that.
You did it,
The rule
David.
is though, it has to be like junk food.
Yeah.
Is wasabi junk food? I mean, it's junk in
If
David
it's
right
deep
now.
fried wasabi, it's definitely junk.
Deep fried wasabi. I would argue is junk. But
Right.
Real tears.
Oh my God, are you actually crying?
Yeah. He's going for it, man.
He committed to the bit. Round of
committed.
applause.
Hey.
Hey, he did it
He
for
did it for you.
He did it for you.
It was my idea.
It wasn't
I paid for it. You're welcome.
The worst part is he knew which one it was.
Yep.
And we
I
all
knew.
taken
Did you know
it.
as soon as you got it?
It was a 50-50 when Monster Handler Matt picked his up. I knew which one it was when he picked it up.
And you're
I
just
tell
like,
you.
no.
Well, and what's
My
kind
heart
of
sunk.
nice is that if I'd gotten it, I probably wouldn't be able to continue the show. So I think it all worked out. I think it all worked out for the best. It all worked out for the best.
Well, except for David.
You say that.
Oh, I'm purely speaking from my own selfish point of view.
Great job, Monster Handler David.
All right,
Great
thanks
job.
again. All right, some toots of appreciation. I'm sure if someone's listening through headphones, their eardrums are
This is
totally
definitely-
Just
blown
like
out now.
David's palate, it's probably your ears are probably fried.
Never do
There
anything
we
that you
go.
won't. Never make someone do someone that you wouldn't do.
You're doing yourself. Okay, so
You get it.
now that we're
sit
all
here.
chillaxing here,
You can sit here.
is it time to take a look at some monster pieces?
Oh, monster pie.
All right. Yay, monster pieces.
That cheese ball, it was good.
All right, don't rub it in.
Okay.
All right, so here from Unlogical is
Wow.
a
Wait.
beautiful Bemeebeth
that's
piece
sweet.
of art.
I love
very,
how
very cool.
stylized it
Quick
is.
turnaround too with the Bemeebeth.
Very
Oh,
much so.
you have no
and
idea.
This Bemeebeth has sort of a Popeye thing going on.
Yeah.
Where its lower arms are super beefy.
Lots
from all
of
that
spinach.
Yeah.
Lots of big salad.
Yeah, there's a lot of green-looking things on the on Ethereal Workshop. All of the obstacles, the trees there have sort of deep, rich green tones that remind me of wilted spinach. So maybe you
There
guys
we
are onto
go.
something. Maybe spinach is really the key. So if you're trying to synthesize yourself more stably, interpret that however you want, lead a healthier lifestyle, perhaps spinach is in your future.
Just like Popeye.
This has
very
been
like
a
the
paid
movie.
advertisement for spinach. Okay, next. Steptanium, great name. And again, quick turnaround here. These monsters, we showed them off for the first time like less than a week ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Steptanium here has created an absolutely adorable version of Epic the
Happy
Ostrich.
it is.
Very sweet.
Just happy to be here.
Very sweet.
I love this. I love the little nod to Jurassic Park.
Well, I was
there.
about to say, you know, that I don't think it's mentioned in the bio, but that sickle claw there is very Velociraptor
Yes,
coated.
absolutely.
And it's sort sort of like the thorn on the rose, right? Where it's like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so soft and nice looking, and don't forget, it's got this big scary claw. That's what keeps it monstrous.
Putting
right?
on socks must be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one big hole in every sock.
Every
but
sock.
at least you'd save on socks
Yeah,
because
You only got one?
being 1 foot, yeah, at least you'd go through them at about the same pace, I'm
think
guessing.
so.
All right. Thank you, Steptanium, for that. From Ord Placus, we have
That's insane.
Bemibeth here. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the creation of Poke by
Yeah.
Michelangelo that hangs in the Museum of Monster Art,
This is
where you see
crazy.
Meebkin there that's kind of reaching out and making contact with Bemibeth. Lots of folks saying that they noticed a visual shape similarity there between Meebkin's head and Bemibeth's head with those two sort of exterior bulbous eyes. You know what's very funny is the artist who designed Meebkin was like, hey, that looks kind of like the monster that I did, as we were working on Bemibeth, and we were like, yes, this was the plan all along. So I've said this before, but I always want to remind people that like all of the connections that we find and that we create, sometimes they're just very happy accidents. They're pure serendipity. It's not always something that's planned. A lot of the stuff is planned. Other stuff, it just is like, you know what, we really like this design, we'll go with it. Oh yeah, and it does remind us of Meebkin too.
And the 31 thing, that was planned.
And the 18.
right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Nutty Noon.
MSN Pokegamer says hi.
Hey, hi, Pokegamer. Nutty Noon here with their 12th anniversary edition of Jamboree.
Look how happy Jamboree is.
Now
it's
the
their
vantage
holiday.
point here to
I
me
love it.
suggests that this is an absolutely gargantuan jamboree, and if so, you may be less inclined to try and take a bite out of it, lest it stomp you with a big chocolatey foot.
That's right.
So behave yourselves, basically.
We don't eat monsters.
Mossy Mango has this drawing of Exert.
I love that.
Exert.
That's true.
And that's
very
how
nice.
you say the name, Exert.
Exert.
And a lot of people are going, is it Zert? No,
It's
exert.
exert.
Like the verb exert. Now, are there acceptable variant dialectical forms where maybe it's known as Zert? Sure, you can call it whatever you want, but if you're interested, if you wanted to know, the official pronunciation is Exert.
Welcome to phonics class.
Yes, you got it. You got it. Even though this monster's name totally defies, I think, what you would expect it to do, the X is like said like the letter and not like the X in xylophone. It's not a Z sound. It's just a straight up, or like the X in Xavier.
Oh.
For whatever reason, it's like it just says its name. Very unusual. But thank you, Mossy Mango,
that's
for this
awesome.
beautiful
I love
masterpiece
it. Very
of
good.
Exert. From is this Ludwig or
Ludwig. It is Ludwig.
Here's
A big smile.
Yelmet wearing dentures, perhaps. Because
No, it's Yelmet's posing for their school photo. Make sure you smile.
I'm pretty sure that canonically Yelmets don't have teeth, they just have tongues, I think. I could be wrong, maybe there's some teeth in there, but the teeth would present a challenge because we've said that Yelmets can slip through any crack that their headgear can fit through. They're kind of like an octopus in that way. And so the addition of these big chompers would make it very difficult to slip through certain
Maybe
small
they borrowed
holes.
some dentures from dentures.
Whoa! Oh my gosh. Okay, that's an unusual and interesting theory. We'll have to investigate that further. I like it though. Dentures interacting with Yelmet. I like it. All right, here from Flug. Flug says,
that was
Bemibeth.
so
This
cool.
Bemibeth is sort of giving Spirit a little bit because it's kind of got like a huzzah hand, and in fact the hand in this particular artwork, in this monster piece of Flug's, reminds me actually of Rare Spirit's hands, which kind of look like they're gloved.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
Love it.
huzzah!
Very nice.
Or Eureka, as the case may be on Ethereal Workshop.
Whoa!
From Dylan
Hey,
P.
that's us,
Oh,
that's us.
9929447. Yeah, we actually have Gnarls all on one couch
Yeah,
right
right.
now.
Wow.
We got Charlie,
That is
Jen,
so
and
cute.
Tyson. All right, go. 3, 2, 1.
No.
All right, well,
I didn't know which one we were doing.
that is evidence for you of the magic of
Yeah.
our audio team turning that raw unrefined talent,
Oh, it's
pure raw
unrefined.
talent
That's
into
right.
And
absolutely
we have
beautiful
to record
music.
them separately as well.
Yes,
because I
you
think
don't.
we'd be laughing the
You
entire
don't
time.
actually record them together, but this is an absolutely beautiful piece. Is this made out of
It's
clay?
clay.
Do we think it's
Yep,
clay?
it is.
Very
I
cool.
love the detail on
The
it. Look
detail's
at
crazy.
look at the forms of the
I would not have the steady
vegetation.
hands to
This
do this.
artist has done several clay sculptures, actually. So thank you to Dylan
It's awesome.
with all the numbers.
Yes, and all the numbers. Wonder if those numbers
That's
are
awesome.
BBBID or what?
I want one for one for my desk. Please.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa! You know, it's so
very
funny.
cool.
Exert comes out and everyone goes, "This is the weirdest monster you guys have ever made." But for what it's worth, it inspires a lot of Monster Piece fan art.
It's got a pretty
And a
big
lot of
cult
player
following.
parts.
It has a huge
It
cult
does
following.
have a
I'm very
cult
proud.
following.
I'm very proud of what it's accomplished.
job,
but
Exert.
Alien Bugs here, I love the sort of
colors.
Pokemon coughing, wheezing clouds
Oh,
in back there. But remember that Exert's monstroflatulence, that's the scientific term, is totally odorless. All it does is cause confusion. So,
Right,
despite the
brain-
fact
brain
that you may
fart.
see
Silent and not
it,
deadly.
yes. Unless the deadliness,
not silent.
is that you can't find your way home because you have brain fog. So, an excellent monster piece from Alien Bugs.
Yes, if you see
We
an
love it.
exert in a cornfield maze, run
Don't
away.
go
Yes,
in there.
don't go there.
won't
You
find your
will
way
never, you will never find home again. All right, next. Oh, that's it. That was all of them. So, thank you so much for those. If you're interested in having your artwork featured here on My Singing Monsters Live, what should people do, Monster Handler Jan?
Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can always share on your social media with #MonsterPiece, but we also have a My Singing Monsters official Discord with a whole channel dedicated to monster pieces that I can tell you I personally scroll through every single day.
Wow. Every day.
Every day.
That's commitment. That's
So
devotion
make sure you're
to the
submitting
craft.
those to the Discord.
Well, it's also a nice little space for everyone to share their art with each
Their
other.
artwork,
exactly.
yeah, and
just a
get
fun little place.
feedback, get support, get compliments, get constructive criticism. It's awesome. The
And you can
Discord's
hang out
very
with
awesome.
the monster handlers.
Yeah,
I
we're
am
in
on
there.
there, so
We're
go,
in there.
go and check
As
that
a
out.
huge MSM fan, I like to go on there and just talk lore and excitement and frustration on what I haven't been able to get yet. I'm looking at you, Oogity.
Oh, the Oogity. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Oogity only because all along, of course, we were planning that
Yeah.
Bemebeth would follow some months later, but we were like, it's done now, workshop is over, and everyone's like, only one monster, Oogity. and so,
Oogity and Exert can throw a great goopy party.
Yeah, there's a lot of viscous stank going on there between those two. But I think it's consistent, right?
It is.
Poison, right? You know, poison. It's,
Of course.
It's sort of an unusual element. Here's a behind-the-scene thing. I remember back when we were deciding what the fifth and final ethereal element was going to be, because we'd gone through, you know, we'd done plasma, we'd done mech, and then shadow, and then crystal. I was like, well, what can it be? What could it be? And I remember talking to then CEO of Big Blue Bubble, Damir Slogar, and saying like, poison, is that okay? Is that safe? And he's like, I don't care. And so we said, ship it. And so then poison became the element. But it's cool because poison has sort of become this like misunderstood, weird element as sort of like something that helps to break things down or like change them, right? It's like sort of an agent of change, much like a catalyst. And we don't mean the cat. Okay, so we're getting very near the end here of our specially long My Singing Monsters
We're
Live
having fun.
anniversary 12th edition. But before we do that, we wanted to give you a sneak peek at some of the sales that you can expect to load in tomorrow over the weekend as part of... What are you doing?
We're just excited for the sale.
All right. So here are the sales that you can expect to join the Monster World tomorrow.
nice
So,
little fist
you
bump.
remember I was talking about a fist bump earlier,
yeah.
Tyson? Here's the fist
going.
bump to end all fist bumps. Now that Rare Wubbox is on Weblin Island, these two monsters can hang out and have a grand old time.
It's a Wubump.
It's a Wubump. It's a Wubump. This Wubump, depicted here for the first time on this particular announcement, you know, as we talk about Rare Wubbox on Weblin Island, it's funny because, of course, it uses the power of rare wublins to power up, but it itself is not the creator of the rare wublins. That's still Wubbox. So I liken Rare Wubbox on Wublin Island to be like the fun uncle that shows up and just eats from the potluck and then goes home and doesn't clean up
me.
and doesn't contribute at all.
That's what I do.
But it does contribute musically, of course. But the common Wubbox is 50% off on all islands as part of the Electric Feel promotion. So pick it up while the going is good. What else can you expect? Well, because we had those exciting conclusions to the Coliseum happening in version 4.4, we have our build to order promotion where you can get 50% off featured structures and upgrades for the mess hall and the conservatory.
Nice.
Which you'll need, of course, to train multiple monsters at once and to store more of your monster performers.
Sure do.
And that's 50% off, again,
right.
for those of you who were listening carefully. All right, next, we have the Mark My Words promotion. We're doing this every single week. We're switching it up from what we did last year, where we put all the Wordos on at once. We're going based on the island spotlights week after week. So this week, it's going to be 50% off the Wordos on Cold Island. Look at the stars in the big black ink. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you think.
Feel
It's cold
cold.
outside.
What's that
They'll
song? Never
cold.
heard
They are cold. There's that breath that they can see in front of their faces. That's not actually an in-game effect. That's only on Epic Wubbox on Cold Island. But I thought, you
Why
know,
not?
you got to include it because of the lyrics that Magpie sings.
course.
Speaking of lyrics, right before we'll get through this and then we'll talk about it at the end. Sorry, David. Whoa! That was the equivalent of me like swerving into another lane in the highway, but we're back in the right lane now. All right, so next. All right, so because Yule and Cold Island are the featured spotlighted islands and monsters this week. Of course, our Days of Yay promotion kicks off tomorrow and replaces our Trick or Treat promotion that Punkleton is wrapping up today. You can get the awesome fursuit costume for Yule.
Oh.
Very cute.
Next, we have in Dawn of Fire, just like in years past, we have our Patron Saints promotion where featured Celestials, Hornicle, Furnos, and Blossom are available at 50% off on Starhenge. What are they the Patron Saints of? Well, each of the 12 Celestials has a particular outer island that they're particularly fond of. And in the case of Hornicle, Furnos, and Blossom, it's Party Island. It's Party Island. They are the patron Celestials of Party Island. So
They
there
like
they
to
are
party.
looking lovingly down
checks out.
upon Outer Island from Starhenge going, look at those little monsters, they're so cute. And also related to week 2 promotions in Dawn of Fire are some featured structures which are 50% off. The bakery, the juicer, and the candy factory. Now again, we always try and theme these selection of featured structures based on the island, or in this case, the featured Celestials as part of our Patron Saints promotion. So each of them sort of has a loose connection to one. You know, your bakery is Furnos, your juicer is, I think, Blossom. Candy Factory, Hornicle. No,
The Hornicle.
Juicer was Hornicle because it was liquid, and then Candy Factory was Blossom.
Right.
So
That's right. I definitely knew that.
They're loose. They're loose. They're not perfect.
Loosey-goosey.
They're
Listen,
loose thematic
What
connections.
I took from
but-
that though, 50% off.
Exactly. Get them while the going is good. So you got to go check that out. So those are the sales that you can expect coming tomorrow in My Singing Monsters and Dawn of Fire. Behave yourselves over there on the couch. So a couple of other things that I wanted to mention before we wrap things up. There's a couple of new features in 4.4 as well that we didn't take a look at as part of going through our visual review of all of the announcements. And one of them, because it's kind of a difficult thing to express visually, is the Mirror Islands have new audio arrangements.
Yeah, they do.
They've got new MIDIs, as we call them. So if you have just been using the Mirror Islands as farms, you're totally welcome. You're more than welcome to continue doing that. But if you want to hear how we've changed those Mirror songs, it might be worth you starting to actually invest in building up your unique monster collections on those islands. Another thing that's kind of cool that we changed as well in version 4.4 is before the recording studio, I believe, would use the same track across both islands, but I think we split that up, and now you can record unique recording studio recordings on mobile. for the island and the Mirror Island. They'll be distinct. They won't.
sweet.
They won't be the same.
Wowee.
Now, but a little bit of a behind the scenes. I was talking to our Monster Handler composer Philip, who
Yes, Monster Handler Philip, who hasn't been on one of these yet.
no,
Maybe
no,
we'll
not
bring him
yet.
on at one point.
But he was the wonderful mind that
Yes,
rearranged
that helped to take and a very difficult task as well,
big
right?
time,
Because
they're
like
established
these songs are
songs
so
already.
established, and like we wanted to try and change them, but not change them to the point of like musical unintelligibility. They still sort of had to make sense. But I think there's some really cool new, basically like duets and and trios and
Well, I remember talking to him about it, and he really dumbed it down for me. He's like, yeah, like it changed a little bit, and I'm like, all right. And then
you listen to
and
them,
then
and
I
it's
finally
like,
listened to it. And
they're
it's like
totally
it's a different experience.
Yeah,
honestly.
it is very cool.
Yeah.
So I invite you to go check that out. Another thing that I want to mention.
There was a lot of buzz on Discord today about
was.
people
yeah.
talking about the different parts of
There
it.
was.
and stuff.
Nice.
Sweet.
I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. And like you mentioned, Monster and the Charlie in the kickoff video, it's just another reason to invest in the Mirror Islands. And they're very, very cool. And now they've got these more unique songs. I would say worth it. They've always been worth it. Now they're even more worth it. Voidcorn. Voidcorn has
I'm
made
so
its
excited.
official debut in My Singing Monsters as part of an exclusive costume for the anniversary pack and the deluxe anniversary pack.
It's awesome.
So
I can't wait.
I really, like this is the only way to get this costume, but we wanted to make it like a special, cool one. And of course, your support during anniversary month, but whenever, is always super appreciated. It helps us continue to make My Singing Monsters, continue to make My Singing Monsters better, and helps us make sure that these are only the first 12 years of My Singing Monsters, and that we'll just keep at it as long as you guys keep loving what it is that we're
To
making.
24.
Yeah. when all of us will be here with our walkers and saying, here's a
We're all like,
such and such.
yeah, we're all like,
Except for maybe Tyson.
So yeah, Tyson's just a baby. So I talked about Voidcorn. I
I'm
talked
actually
about
extremely excited for
Mirror
Voidcorn.
Islands.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Voidcorn was being a little mischievous at the beginning.
Yes.
Got a
There-
little too excited about the
There was
update.
a lot of people were loading in, and like the transition into the new way that we're handling path painting was also like a lot of people were hitting the server at once, and so Voidcorn was definitely rearing its head, chewing on cables.
I definitely
and
blame
whatnot.
Voidcorn.
Most of those issues, I believe, are we're sort of over that hump now. And like I mentioned right before the live stream began, a number of fixes went live. There are probably going to be a few more, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, depending on how intensive they are, if people can live with them over the weekend. But go and check that out. Another thing that I wanted to mention is, because today is the anniversary of My Singing Monsters, please,
Don't forget Soul.
please go after this live stream and check your mailbox for a special treat from us Monster Handlers. Normally we give these sorts of giveaways at the beginning of the new day in My Singing Monsters, which is 11 a.m. local time here, which is Eastern time of North America. But we wanted to wait until the end of our live stream just so that you could all celebrate with us. And so go check that out in your mailbox after the live stream concludes.
Nice.
We're going to go set that up. One of the other final things that I wanted to mention today, and something that I think folks should get excited about, is we're doing something very cool this anniversary month where we're partnering with a community collaborator, sort of like we did with Landon, but it's our friend Raw Zebra. And Raw Zebra mentioned a few days ago that they were working on a special collaboration with us. So I don't want to give away too many details, but it's something that will appear on our YouTube channel, and it will be the telling of a story and some lore that we haven't tackled before. And Raw Zebra helped to make this story and storyboarded it, and will have been the animator, the colorist, the musical score, and we've been getting progress updates on it, and we're very, very excited for folks to check it out.
It's amazing.
We're still sort of finalizing with Raw Zebra when during anniversary month would be a great time for that to appear on our YouTube channel. But we're very excited about it. We think it's really, really cool, and we wanted to sort of hype you guys up and get excited about that. And there will be more details forthcoming about that. So
I'm hyped.
we're very, 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 very,
I'm
very
hyped.
excited about that. So keep an eye peeled on our YouTube channel. And if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know what you're doing here, honestly. But if you aren't subscribed, make sure to check it out so that you're informed when that particular video goes up. Okay.
Wow.
I think that those are all of my updates. I tackled all that stuff, and like I mentioned, after the My Singing Monsters Live concludes, go check your mailbox for a special treat, courtesy of us monster handlers. Like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Void Corn and the anniversary pack and the deluxe anniversary pack, we want to thank you again for 12 years of My Singing Monsters. We couldn't do it without you. Your gratitude, your creativity, your support continues to fuel us and inspire our world of creativity, just as we hope it inspires yours. And we're really stoked. Like we mentioned at the end of the kickoff video, you know, I would say we're just getting started, but I feel like we've been started for a while. So perhaps the more apt thing to say is the train ain't slowing down, baby.
We're getting stronger.
We've got lots of really exciting things planned in the future of My Singing Monsters. I'm not going to give any sort of timeline, but we've got.
Don't ask us.
Yes, but we've got some exciting stuff planned, and you know, as is typical of us during anniversary month. Maybe there's something special that may bookend the event. I don't know. It's just a theory. If the past is any indication of the future, then it could be something cool. I don't know.
But if you ask, I'll just go and walk away slowly.
Very slowly and dramatically. Okay. Any last words from any of the Gnarls coach people?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Noise.
Thank you so
warning.
much for joining us here on My Singing Monsters Live. We hope you had a good time and learned a little bit more about the monster world and hung out with us. Go join the Discord if you're not already a member. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Enjoy Anniversary Month. Take advantage of all the awesome sales. And until next time, happy monstering!